Almost like as if you are going to realize for the first time ever in your life something which is really going to surprise you, my gorgeous Libra. For the first time in your life, you are going to realize how someone can actually have a power over you who is not even part of your life. Okay, and this is really going to kind of throw you back a little bit, show you out of balance just a little bit, but at the same time, this is also the time when things are going to start becoming very, very interesting for you indeed, in terms of how much you want to make the necessary step, because at that moment in time, you're also going to remind of your own passion and something that you have been working on and persistently thinking about intensely within the last 3 months, but you haven't done anything about it, which is absolutely fine. So now this is why things are going to become very interesting for you here indeed. So you are going to realize somebody may be controlling your life through your subconscious mind without you even realizing. Like, you know, this in itself, it's like really kind of made you restrict yourself when you shouldn't restrict yourself, and it also kind of made you prevented you to have a really kind of healthy visions about your life. With another words, it put you in a mode where you kind of had a barriers with yourself, within yourself, in terms of how far you can go when it comes to something really, really specific and something so important to you. So this was all causing you to have a limited success in your life. So of course that this is going to be absolutely brilliant, because at the same time you're going to be reminded at the same time you need to understand not to make an impulsive mistake, and an impulsive mistake that you are going to be thinking about making is now suddenly you're going to be thinking about some missed opportunity. You're going to be reminded of a missed opportunity, but that doesn't matter. That missed opportunity happened because it was meant to happen, and almost as if you're going to go into this mode of your own self-torture. Oh my God, none of this would happen if I didn't miss this opportunity. If I went for this specific opportunity you're going to be thinking about like ages ago, none of this would ever happen. Do not go into this self-blame mode, because it's completely unnecessary whatsoever. I know that it's just so important for you to understand that. I know that you are going to feel just a little bit drained just at the beginning of this week, and you are going to feel like you want to have a little rest. I really strongly suggest you to go for it, and I don't need to tell you this. I think that one day again you're going to feel like you strongly want to be by yourself, or you strongly need to spend the whole day indoors, or you're strongly going to feel like, oh, you just want to lie down the whole day. And sometimes we need just that. You know, there are some signs that needs this more, there are some signs that needs this less. Do you know what I mean? But if your body, if your mind, if your spirit, if your soul is telling you that you need to kind of chill out and rest a little bit, most importantly, you should go for it. And I don't need to tell you this, because naturally this is something that you're not going to be able to ignore. So you are going to feel after that moment in time, you're going to find this little bit, all this little bit overwhelming. Don't worry, the things are going to work out brilliantly by the end of this week, so it doesn't really matter. But you are going to feel after this moment in time a little bit overwhelmed, and this is going to drain a kind of very specific energy within you, which is going to require from you to rejuvenate yourself just for a short amount of time, for one day. You're going to feel like you need a rest. And you will see, after that happens, like the next day, after you have this rest, you are going to wake up in the morning completely refreshed. You're going to wake up, my gorgeous Libra, brand new baby. And that in itself, it's suddenly, something is going to be on your mind. The first thing you wake up, one day after you take this rest, my God, this is so needed, because you're going to break through something. You are going to have turning point without even realizing you are having a turning point, because as soon as you wake up the next day, one day after that, my gorgeous Libra, you are now going to suddenly realize why did you have number one, you're going to suddenly realize why did you have financial setbacks. Number two, you're going to realize a big huge illusion that you should go away from, move away from immediately. And you're also going to realize how powerful you are, how strong you are, and how, you know, the power of your own determination. You're going to realize how powerful you actually are. And that in itself, it's all going to lead towards you, like really kind of taking decisive action. And that you taking decisive action here is ever so important in order to restore order, to restore order. But at the same time, it's like this is going to lead towards you pretty much so having a courage to face your fear. Okay, so this is going to lead towards you having the courage to face your fear. And now to face your fear, my gorgeous Libra, couldn't be more important indeed. And this is all about you understanding exactly what do you need to do. But it's like lots of elements of you coming out of your comfort zone and facing your fears as well. At around the first part of this week, at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Libra, you're also going to have a rather unusual sign. Somehow this sign is going to come through the nature, and whether this is going to happen through the actual nature, you know, plants and the sky, and you know, or whether this is going to happen through animals, it really depends. But then in itself, you are going to have a really kind of specific sign, and you will know, you know, that at that moment in time, as soon as you have that sign, it's more about what you're gonna fully understand. It doesn't matter what sign is, how the sign is gonna come, but at that moment in time, you will know that this is your sign, because at that moment in time, this is gonna be screaming to you, my gorgeous Libra. How much do you need to make a necessary adjustment? You will know which adjustment do you need to make, and that in itself, it's a really kind of at the same time going to start this, you know, it's about alteration, it's about starting the process of change. So this is why this is so important, because it's pretty much so to do with you naturally and organically going on the next stage of your spiritual journey. If you don't do this, then you know it's going to create a butterfly effect if you ignore this, and then other things are gonna kind of be affected that you don't want to be affected. So this is why it's important again just to go with the flow, my gorgeous Libra. When you feel this flow, you just go with it, and you will know that you're not doing things wrong when you follow your heart, you know, when you follow things within, when you follow things that fuels your passion, you know, and your passion for life, your thirst for life, you know, which is ever so important, because it keeps you growing, you know, it keeps you growing, it keeps you evolving, and it keeps you changing, you know. Every single month we are different, every single year we are different, you know. So by the time you get to the mid part of this week, it's like this is brilliant, because you are going to have such a good news here, good realization. It's about victory, it's about recognition, something that you've been working on for absolute ages. Now you're going to have a really good news about that again, and this in itself, it's really going to show you a couple of things. On one hand, you're going to start feeling extremely creative, and this creativity that you're going to feel, it's not only going to be motivating you, but it's going to be healing you as well. It's going to be healing you. You're going to notice physically how much more energy you actually have. But at the same time, on another hand, it's also going to show you like a really, what do you need to kind of like What do you need to nurture more? Where do you need to put more energy as well towards? And this is a rather important, because it's going to pick you up on so many different levels. You are going to feel really proud of yourself, but it's bringing like this mental clarity into your life that is bringing a victory over confusion, and chaos that you have been through. And this is also like kind of going to help you to really avoid some kind of a conflict here as well. By avoiding unnecessary conflicts, my gorgeous Libra, you are protecting yourself, and you are doing something that is along the line in the long term gonna work so perfectly when it comes to your practicality through your own security, but also at the same time by avoiding some kind of a conflict here, because I think someone is going to try to wind you up so much. I think someone is going to be a little bit rude to you, somebody is going to be a little bit horrible to you, but you have to avoid this conflict. And I don't need to tell you this, because you are going to avoid this conflict. And by avoiding this conflict, I know it sounds crazy, by avoiding this conflict, by responding to in the best possible way, in the like a really positive way, you're already like kind of elevating yourself like spiritually. But at the same time, this is actually only a couple of days. You will see, you will hear a really good news that there's some kind of burden, something that was on your shoulder for so long, and it's involving somebody else. It's coming to an end, and this is going to mean to you so much, because it's going to be beneficial in order for you to actually gain some kind of contemplation, which and in order to gain overview of this contemplation, which is going to be on your mind, which was on your mind for a while, for the last 20 days at least, this is going to help you to gain an overview of this contemplation, but through the actual detached observation, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do this, because now you are going to, this is all going to bring you to the point where you are going to have increased understanding, and that in itself, it's really going to help you with your own integration through reflection that you wouldn't otherwise have. This in itself, it's really going to inspire you, and it's also like kind of going to really make, highlight your own devotion, which is at the same time going to reflect on your passion, on your spirituality, regeneration and enlightenment. I mean, oh my God, my gorgeous Libra, how good is this? And also, what's another interesting thing which is going to take place at around the midweek? You are really going to have an unexpected failure here. Please don't get me wrong. It's going to be a bit of an unexpected failure as well. But what I find really interesting is that this unexpected failure, you are going to feel so happy about. You're going to feel so glad about. Okay, you are going to feel so glad about, because it's like this unexpected failure. It's something that you will kind of be so glad that it actually came to an end, that it actually failed, because it really wouldn't fit in with how much you progressed in life lately. And spiritually, this is bringing you to the point where you're going to start seeing things in a completely different light. You will understand so much more throughout this week about yourself, about the life, about this world in general. So it's all going to bring you to this point where you are going to become aware of this unexpected failure about something, and you're going to be like, oh, thank God, because you wouldn't know if it wasn't like this. You know that, oh my God, it would take too much energy from you. Financially, it wouldn't be good for you. And also, on another hand, it's like you wouldn't be able to come up with like a resolution of some kind of problem, because this unexpected failure, it's also going to teach you something, how to deal with a particular problem as well. So you are going to kind of be more pleased with that than anything else. By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Liberina, you know that you're going to feel this is going to be kind of driving you crazy. Not crazy, but driving you nuts. You know what I mean? Like at around the end of this week, you are going to feel like a lack of harmony. And this is going to be really bothering you, because it's to do with this specific person in your life who you love so much. You like this person. This is someone who is in your life, somebody very important to you. But it was just a lack of harmony in between you and that person. And this is really going to bother you. And one day, maybe you just lost contact, or you didn't talk enough to a specific person, or you didn't see the specific person who like mean to you so much, but the life goes on and you're not spending time with people that mean to you so much. You know, it's so much about like you maybe wanting to spend more time with a certain people in your life. And I've seen this before. This has been ever so important to you within the last year or so. But now someone very specific is going to be highlighted at around the end of the week, and you are going to feel so angry, and not angry, but maybe so a little bit sad because of the lack of harmony in between you and that person. And this is going to be on your mind, and you will really want to rejuvenate one specific relationship, and you're going to feel so determined about, you know, and then suddenly, you know, while you're doing this, you are actually going to reconnect with that person, and there is going to be an important conversation that you're going to have. And now suddenly you're going to feel very, very nostalgic. You're going to feel very nostalgic because you're going to be brought back to like things that have been going on in your life like a long time ago. And now you're going to realize what you want, what's missing in your life through your own past. This is when things are going to start becoming very interesting to you, because all this was meant to happen. This is why when I say go with the flow, you have to go with the flow. If you wake up in the morning and someone specific is on your mind, like, oh, I haven't seen Mark for so long, I haven't seen John for so long, I haven't seen Patricia for so long, I haven't seen Lorraine for so long, I haven't seen David for so long, I haven't seen Marie for so long, you know, I haven't seen Jane for so long, I haven't seen like basically, yeah, it doesn't matter. There is a reason for it. It's coming from somewhere else, and this is why you need to follow this call of destiny that comes to you, you know, at the time when we're ever so spiritual, as soon as we wake up in the morning, because this is going to be on your mind. So it needs from you to dig a little bit deeper. So on one hand, you reconnect with that person, but on another hand, you reconnect with yourself, and you're reminded of your past for a reason from a long time ago. And now you're going to realize what you want through your past. And this in itself, it's really going to highlight your skill, highlight something that you're so good at, so amazing at. But at the same time, that skill is also going to protect your possessions. It's going to like be fantastic for your finances. Like, oh my God, but it's also going to be such an incredible moment of your personal liberation, where you are about to become a free spirit, because now you will see that there is the whole world of possibilities and opportunities right ahead of you. You didn't even know you had just a week ago. It's like, oh my God, my gorgeous Libra, how important this week is going to be. Okay, my gorgeous Libra, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.